Well, actually, Star Wars games are looking pretty good now, and quite a few good Star Wars games came out in recent years. And of course, today, as you may have understood, we're gonna be talking about the Jedi Fallen Order and discuss whether it is worth it to buy right now or you should just move on to the other Star Wars stuff. So, without further ado, let's just get it started. As always, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away, just to not waste a lot of your time. Is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is the full name of this game, actually worth it to buy today or not? And the answer is, if you like Star Wars, then yes. It's not just good to buy, it's basically must buy. Because this game story is actually canon. So if you want to know everything about Star Wars, then yes, this game is absolutely worth it. But now, let's go more into details and discuss why it's worth it, or maybe why you should not be bothering to buy it for some reason. Okay, first let's just discuss what this game actually is. So Jedi Fallen Order is action adventure game in a Star Wars universe. Basically, the story of this game is happening 5 years after Order 66. So chronologically, it takes some time after the Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and before Episode 4, New Hope. So Empire is on a rise, Jedi are no more, and you're playing as Cal Kestis. You're basically a survivor of a Jedi purge, and during this purge, you are only a Padawan, and now you're trying to hide. Do not try to spoil anything from this game. Basically, something happened, and now you need to hide from an Empire, and also discover ancient secrets of the Jedi, and maybe even try to rebuild the Jedi Order. And despite the game came out years ago, I will try to not give you any spoilers, and well, story is pretty much perfect, at least for the Star Wars, because this game understands Star Wars well enough. If you are a Star Wars fan, and if you like the at least mainline Star Wars entries, and if you like Clone Wars, and especially if you like some extended Star Wars stuff, then you are gonna love the story of this game. Comparatively small and grounded, then compared to everything in the Star Wars, you can say that the tone-wise game is actually closer to the Rogue One, and it's actually pretty cool. And because the tone is pretty small and you have an interaction with only very few people, and yes, there are not a lot of characters in this game, and story-wise, that's because you are actually in hiding and you just cannot just walk around with everyone. You just show everyone that you are a Jedi. It's actually pretty great story. The characters are written amazingly, the dialogues are pretty much perfect, the motion capture and face reactions of the characters are pretty much great, and well, again, to not spoil anything, if you love Star Wars, this is basically a must-play game, and if nothing else, it's worth it just to experience this story yourself. But how it actually plays? Well, to be fair, the gameplay in this game is actually on second place because yeah, story is the first and most important part of this game. And when I started this game, gameplay-wise, I expected something close to the Star Wars Force Unleashed, but way toned down. If you have played Star Wars Force Unleashed, you are playing basically as much OP Force user as it can get. You are just a power and a force of nature. And I expected something like that here, but a bit toned down. In reality, well, it's nothing like that. It's actually much more toned down. Gameplay is actually reminiscent more for me to Dark Souls. And yeah, what some people are saying is closer to Sekiro. And to be fair, I actually haven't played Sekiro, so I cannot say this exactly. But it's actually made to be as difficult as it can get without getting punishingly difficult. And story-wise, it actually makes sense because you are not fully trained Jedi. You were a Padawan a trainee when the Jedi Order fell. So yeah, basically, it actually shows that you are not as powerful in the Force as like other Jedis were, well, in their own respective times in game. Gameplay is basically a mix of the traversing mechanics, like very reminiscent to Uncharted. You basically like solve the puzzles, go through the levels, and try to unlock different entrances to this levels and things like that. And the rest is basically a combat. And the combat is, well, I could say it's pretty difficult, but again, without being punishingly difficult. Now, combat-wise, if you don't want a challenge in the combat, and if you just want to, well, feel like a Jedi and just not be stopped by just any common stormtroopers or maybe even defeated, and you want to experience the story, only the story, play on the lowest difficulty. Lowest difficulty is well, easy enough to get through everything with the breeze. Basically, no enemies can actually stop you, and even bosses can actually stop you. You'll just breeze through the game and just experience the game very quickly. However, you'll be losing a lot by doing that. The issue is that if you play the game on the easiest difficulty and decided to just, well, increase the difficulty to the Jedi Knight, which is the second level of difficulty, the increase in difficulty is severe. It's comparatively from a child's play, like small cubes and things like that, to a 3D chess. Like, it's an insane difficulty spike. It's nothing impossible, but the difference between the easiest and the next difficulty level is insane. Then it gets, again, progressively difficult, but it's not as severe increase in difficulty. And if you actually have mastered the Jedi Knight difficulty level, even the highest difficulty will actually not be that problem anymore for you. But how it actually plays? Well, combat variety is not very huge. So what you have is you have your main attack. It's like hitting with the lightsaber. By the way, you can unlock a double-bladed lightsaber as well, and you can just move them interchangeably. Well, double-bladed lightsaber is good for the large number of enemies, and single-bladed is good for a single enemy. You hit your lightsaber, and you will also unlock the combos a bit later. Press the right mouse button to, well, block, and if you block right before you hit, you parry, and basically if it's a blaster shot, you deflect it back. If it's melee hit, you basically stagger your enemy and then you can just continue hitting them, and they will not be able to block it. And you have very limited force powers as well that you unlock gradually through the game. It's your freeze time, your force push, your force pull, and also double jump. I think that's all that there is. There are not a lot of force powers. That almost all of those force powers are primarily used in traversing. Basically, if you have a large turbine, you can slow time and just go through it, or if you have a wall, you can just break through it with your force push, or if you have vine very far away that you need to climb, you can just force pull it and just reach it. Or again, if you have a large gap to jump through, you can use double jump and things like that. Yes, it's not very complicated, and to be fair, it's not very, well, deep, but because of how enemies are actually pretty strong, even compared to you, it's actually not as boring as you might think. It's actually pretty cool, pretty fun. Except for one thing that I really hate about this game. Or rather, two things. And yeah, let's discuss that. First is extensive. The game is literally built on a backtracking. Objectively, I understand why developers need backtracking, because yeah, in order to make very high detailed environments, it takes a lot of time and effort, and well, reusing the same environments actually help you to reduce this time and effort and, well, add more details to those environments. But the amount of backtracking here is simply insane. You will visit same planets few times, go through same territories, same places, just because now you have a new ability that allows you to reach new territories and new places. Again, for some people it's not a problem, but I hate that. I hate this in God of War, which is simply amazing game, and I hate this one here as well. One more thing, but another thing makes it even worse, and it is a rest mechanic. So basically in this game, after the combat, if you have used all of your health packs and you want to, well, restore your health, you need to rest. And this resting can be done on the meditation spots, which is basically your save game. And when you hit the rest, and you will restore your health packs, you will restore your health, you will restore your force powers, it will also respawn every single enemy on the map. So now, because you need to be doing a lot of backtracking in a lot of different spots, you will need to fight the same enemies over and over and over and over again. And if the combat was incredibly varied and incredibly cool, yes, I can understand this, and yes, this keeps you busy, but it's not. Finding the same enemies in the same spots over and over and over and over and over again is simply not fun. Why you would love to do that, I have no idea. But yeah, you need to be doing this all the time. It's not an issue on easier difficulties, because basically you don't even need to rest. You can just have 2 health packs and just go through entire level without even using them at all, because enemies are that weak and you are that strong. But even on a Jedi Knight's level, you will need to rest a lot, especially if you have never played the Souls-like games and you need to learn these things. You will be doing this a lot, and it'll break immersion quite a lot of times. And to be fair, there was a few times in the game that I didn't want to continue the game, because yeah, I need to rest all the time, and because I need to use the resting all the time, and I need to fight the same enemies over and over again. It's not just fun. So these are my main nitpicks. But now let's get to an important part, and its pricing. So game is available on Steam for the base price of $39.99 for both tier 1 and tier 2 countries, and it can go as low as $14.79 for both tier 1 and tier 2 countries. So now what is the price where this game will be worth it? Now, first big disclaimer here, I didn't buy this game. I got this game for free through my Amazon Prime subscription. It was available for free on January and I got there for absolutely free. I was planning to buy it anyways, but yeah, I got it for free. Would I pay $40 for this game? No. This is single player only, even though the story is at least 20 hours long and you can actually go through the game again and again. If you're a completionist, it will take 30 to 40 hours easy, maybe even 50 hours. I would still not pay $40 for this just because it's a single player only game. And I know that I'm extremely cheap gamer. I know that. But what about the other prices? What about the $15 the game is asking for on the sales? And yes, for $15, it's a must-own game if you are a Star Wars fan. It is that good. It's exceptionally good. It's not great, but it's very, 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 very good. And for $15, if you're a Star Wars fan, yeah, you need to have this game in your library and you need to play this game through and through just to experience the story, the canon story of Cal Kestis. Another reason is because the sequel will be coming out pretty soon and you need to, well, know what was happening in the first part, right? Game is fun and interesting with, well, some minor gripes, but it's absolutely worth to pay for it $15. Anything more than $15, would I pay for it? I don't think so. Maybe $20, but that's the maximum price that I would pay. And that's the maximum price that you should pay for it too. In the world where you can get Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk 2077, even Witcher, and all the other large open world games like Horizon Zero Dawn for less than $20, yeah, paying more than $20 for this single player only game, I don't think that it's actually a good bargain, even though it's pretty great game. Overall, again, this game is absolutely worth it for less than $20, and especially if you are a Star Wars fan, because yeah, this is a must-play story. And if you just go over some minor gripes with the gameplay, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this game, and you're gonna enjoy it through and through. Well, this will be for today. Thank you for being here with me. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite Star Wars game. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.